This hour I'm joined in studio with Senator John Boozman and Congressman Steve Womack, and also an old friend of Arkansas. We have Ron Fournier from the National Journal, who is joining us, talking about his days with Bill Clinton and here in Washington. Senator Ron, thanks so much for being here.
Well, thank you so much for having us. It's great to see you in Washington, and it's good to be with Ron.
Pleasure being here.
Well, Senator, you're certainly busy with a lot of things going on, but particularly immigration seems to be front and center these days. The Gang of Eight has a proposal. It's getting a lot of concern. The main concern is, does this do enough to secure the border? And obviously with the Boston bombing situation, I think that there's concern we need to stop and take a closer look and make sure we have a comprehensive plan.
No, I agree, and certainly you have to secure the border. The other thing that you have to do is 40% of the people that are here illegally have overstayed their visas. So right now you come in on a visa, but we don't check to make sure that you go out, on your visa. So that has to be addressed also. And then again, I think you have to have a program where you can hold employers accountable. I think you have to have a good visa program. I think the good thing about this bill as we go forward, and there is a lot of concern, a lot of question is that the concerns and questions are being vetted. There's ample opportunity. Hearings are going on. There's going to be a lot of discussion about this over the next few weeks, and that's the right process. It allows the questions and concerns to come out rather than the attitude, we got to do something, and you do it overnight. That's what happened in the healthcare debate, and that's why we're in the mess that we're in now.
It seems like everyone was full speed ahead when we had the Gang of Eight proposal, and then sentiment now with the Boston bombing situation, we need to stop and slow down. Where do you stand on that? What kind of provisions need to be included in order to have the correct immigration plan?
Well, I think the Boston bombing has, addressed, again, the brokenness of the system that we have now. I think no matter what you do, you have to secure the border. You have to get this visa thing squared away, because no matter what you agree to, Reagan agreed, based on doing that, holding employers accountable, securing the border, and then he gave amnesty in order to fix the situation. The problem is the amnesty was given, the others never were done. And so I think you really have to look at the border aspect, not only for this, but also we're a nation at war, the drug stuff that's coming across. So for lots of reasons, but that is the first step.
And in terms of other issues that we're facing there in Washington, clearly the budgetary matters are a big issue. And now we're hearing this back and forth with the sequester cuts and how it's affecting FAA and shifting resources there. I know you in the Senate have made a request to shift funds so that the appropriate money is used for air traffic control towers so there are not delays. Where do you see that going?
Well, I think, that we're going to force them to do the right thing. I really think the FAA and many of the other agencies are trying to figure out how they can make things as painful as possible to the public. And it reminds me of a spoiled brat kid that, you take away some of his stuff and, you start screaming. They don't want any cuts, period. They want to march on. They refuse. And it is irritating because all of your listeners now, they do that at a personal level, they do that at the business level. They've had to cut back, the last year with increased health care premiums, flat wages, increased gasoline prices. These are just things we deal with, and these agencies, when you threaten them, with a 5% reduction or whatever, have just gone crazy.
And Ron, you heard that, spoiled brat kids. Is that the way you view it as a journalist, respectfully viewing this as a journalist?
Yes, that's exactly how I see sequestration, is exactly how I see the even bigger, broader, more important fight over how to tame this runaway deficit we have. I'm really appalled with the fact that the two parties haven't been able to come together and reach an agreement, that there is an incentive for Democrats to trim entitlements, a political incentive and certainly a policy incentive, and there is an incentive for Republicans to let the Democrats do that. Politically, it'd be great for you guys if Democratic president signed off on them. And you all know that the president needs cover as far as new revenue. And when I talk privately to Democrats and Republicans, I hear them both saying, yeah, we'd be willing to give. Republicans would be willing to do a little bit more new revenue. And the Democrats say, yeah, we'd be willing to cut down on entitlements. But I don't see it happening in public. And I'm just wondering, why that is. Why is it that Washington right now looks like a bunch of kids just...
Ron, I really do think that there's a real difference in opinion, as to, there's lots of different ways to skin a cat. And I think there's real differences in opinion as to how you go forward, how you handle the nation's finances. I think that you have to have some kind of a spending cap in place. You can knock sequestration or not knock it, but it's worked in the sense that, it has forced reduction in spending, and I've been here 11 years. This is the first time that I've seen it, in this manner, in the sense it is something that's actually working. So I think, if we could agree on some mechanism, to put it in place where we agree on a cap, a percent of GDP or however you do that, but you agree on that then, and you make that ironclad in some way, and then you get in and fight out, where you're going to put your priorities. I think that works. It's very, very difficult. Presidents come, presidents go, senators and congressmen come and go. They all have different ideas. I think it's really difficult right now. We're just really a divided country, even as to regards to where the priorities are at.
Yeah.
We're running up on a break here. Senator Boozman, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. We could talk about this all day, certainly between the two of you, but thanks for your time. I know you've got a lot going on here. And
I just appreciate you talking about it. These are such great issues, and again, the people that you've assembled are an all-star cast, so thank you very much for letting me be a part of that.
Well, I appreciate you being an all-star, member of the all-star cast. Senator John Boozman heading up to the Hill to get some work done before heading back home. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be rejoined with Ron Fournier with National Journal and also our Congressman Steve Womack. That and more on the Alice Stewart Show.